Hey everybody, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-0. This is our Twitch recap from 2 weeks ago, because I took a week off and didn't have time to get to editing, where we will be doing some crew cycling from Hotel Cosmos and Kawaii Potato Station around the moon and around the Earth, respectively. First thing we have to do is get these crates off the Crush Craft, Derpfish, and load them onto the lunar Uber that will magically be balanced, and then make sure that our um, moon Earth transit vehicle is fully fueled and has all the life support that it needs to get back home. So we'll be plotting their departure maneuver here very soon. We're going to go ahead and disembark, get those solar panels up, and get everything booted. This has become relatively routine-ish, I guess, although we're always looking for ways to improve. Notably trying to get some of that inclination resolved on the way in versus slowing into a lower orbit and then, I don't know, using some of our excess delta V to correct for the orbital inclination a little later on in their journey. But it also, you know, if we can get them home in less than, a week or two, that would be awesome. We've got some of that inclination taken care of, and it looks like, yeah, we're ahead of our next descending node, but we're going to go ahead and take the efficiency hit, I guess, and try to sort some of that out so that we can try to get it as far down while we're here as possible. Again, just because it's way more efficient to do inclination maneuvers in a very high orbit where your actual speed is lower. So there was that little burst of a maneuver, and now we just wait the 5 or 6 some odd days for them to get into low Earth orbit, and then we'll make our braking maneuver and try to line things up. But while they are en route to Earth, we are going to make a plane change of Hotel Cosmos to put it in a better position for Lunar Uber to land at it without having to make a rather radical inclination difference on its way back down and then again on its way back up. Um, Saving fuel on the reusable lunar surface transit vehicle is just a good idea. It means we have a much larger margin for when we're trying to bring a crew to or from the lunar station or back again. So that does help us out quite a bit as far as that. And maybe if we had to, in an emergency, a crew that had just landed a lunar Uber could then reboard that lunar Uber and go straight back up to the station without needing to refuel. We do have what's left of a fuel resupply pod on the surface. It's just a little too far away to hook up with pipes. But all we really need it for is the lunar Uber. There's a bunch of life support stock on there that would be nice to put to use, but we'll see. I don't know how well that goes next time we bring the crew down. Now, unfortunately, we just used up all of the fuel, making that correction, so we don't actually have enough fuel to land the next crew without a resupply run. So we are just updating this older DN5 series vehicle, making sure it is up to date, widening out the boosters a little bit, getting a little more runtime. We had to upgrade those engines from RD-170s to RD-172s, which gives it a little more oomph off the pad, but we can compensate for that by giving it a little bit longer runtime. And then we'll rejoin our crush craft as it has now made it into low Earth orbit, a little too low. Our not quite on this pass, but on a rendezvous pass. I think we're actually end up clipping a little bit to the atmosphere, just, you know, ever so slightly. But honestly, it's been long enough since I recorded this footage that I don't remember exactly on which pass it was, and it's all very sped up, so I don't even know if we're actually going to notice that it was a thing or not. But here is one of our braking burns trying to bring down that separation at closest approach. Or no, sorry, this is trying to circularize our orbit with our station so that we can then in fact get a nice little encounter. Our current separation is about 212 kilometers. We're going to go ahead and try to work that down. And yeah, that brings our periapsis down to about 119 kilometers or so, which is actually quite bad. So we're going to give those engines a little bump radial out, bring that up to 137 kilometers so we don't go careening through the atmosphere, screaming and dying. Also making sure to fold in our solar panels so that they don't get torn off. The last thing I really want to do is have to queue up another SKS flight to bring this bad boy home for repairs, but now we're starting to dial in that separation at closest approach as best we can, seeing as how we're still very technically inside the atmosphere, but that little bit of drag we're getting does seem to be working in our favor, as that separation at closest approach has gone down to about 700 meters or so. So a quick tap on the RCS, we can bring that down to under 200, which is always our goal. And there she is, Kauai Potato Station, and a quick light of the engines to zero it out, and we can start to make our approach for docking. And there's the shuttle waiting to bring this crew home and the current crew of that shuttle out to Hotel Coscosmos. I almost called it Tremonia Station, which we still need to fix. It's just kind of sitting there being derelict and whatnot. And yeah, we'll just enjoy the view a little bit as we make our approach to the long arm docking adapter. I think this is literally the only place on this station we can dock currently. All other docking ports are filled, except for the one that is dedicated to the SKS nose docking. I guess we have the in-bay option now because I'm just so incredibly bad at the nose-on docking thing. So just a little bit of scraped paint between friends, and boom, there we are. We are docked. So now we did vote on whether or not we were going to resupply Hotel Cosmos first, bring the shuttle down, or take the new crew out to Hotel Cosmos, and the cycling the crew out to Hotel Cosmos won the vote. So that's what we're going to be doing next. As soon as we have our Nemo vessel fueled up and ready to go, we'll get the crew loaded on. I guess they already were, and make our burn for the moon. So again, all very routine. We're pretty much going to watch the thing we already did, but in reverse this time. So Nemo has disembarked the station with our 3 or 4 very excited Kerbals. I'm pretty sure it's just 3 very excited Kerbals on board as we are making our translunar injection burn. Very pretty view there, even at night. At least we have something fun to look at, and boom. We'll just go ahead and dial that in a little bit and try to get ourselves as lined up with that as we can. But we also want to be kind of efficient on our lunar injection burn, which means being lower. But if we can get that ascending descending node thing kind of lined up, then that makes our inclination change a whole lot easier. But we're going to make an adjustment here and try to line those two things up at least as best we can before making our circularization burn. But it does look like we can just go straight for Rendezvous, or at least that was going to be the attempt. I don't think this vessel really has the TWR coming into this to go straight for Rendezvous, so yeah, there's going to be a couple of orbital passes here, and we're going to make kind of a very inefficient, very radical maneuvers, trying to dial in our separation because I was running out of time on the live stream, and I don't like leaving a crew just kind of sitting here on orbit. I'd like for tasks to be at a good stopping point, a place where we can leave things and it's all nice and solid and everyone's happy and has plenty of life support for me to leave them where they are for the next 2 weeks or so, because it is going to take, I don't know, I forgot what it was, 14 or 15 days to build the DN5 with the resupply pod, and then probably at least a week to roll it out, and then a week transit time, bare minimum, before we can get the fuel loaded up for this crew to head down to the surface and resume operations at our lunar surface station. So there is Hotel Cosmos, nicely lined up for us. We're going to go ahead and make our braking burn, and I think we're going to dock on one of the lower pods this time because, well, it was easier, a little bit more convenient, and it's right there. So, you know, hey, why not? Forgetting to pull the solar panels in, of course, but we are docked, and the crew is safely aboard the station, awaiting their fuel truck resupply. So that's going to do it for this episode, everyone. Thank you so much for hanging out. I really appreciate it, and I will see all of you in the next one. So until then, see you later.